yesterday's trade deadline. They parted ways with the likes of Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverley, and Thomas Bryant. They're bringing in D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Rui Hachimura, and Mo Bamba. Shannon, how much better did the Lakers get?
I don't believe all of a sudden they're contenders, Skip. I do think they moved in the right direction. I think they're incrementally better. The Suns went from the 7th, 8th best odds to the 3rd best odds. The Lakers' odds stayed the same. They're the 11th best odds to win the title. The Lakers basically, what they did do was probably undo the disaster what they did with Russell Westbrook. They moved the 27 top 4 protected pick for D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and Mo Bamba. Now, I understand getting Thomas Bryant because he had outplayed the contract, Skip, and they weren't going to be able to re-sign him.
And by the way, our friend Chris Haynes reported during the game last night on TNT that he asked out, that he wanted more playing time.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to call it a trade demand. He just asked to be traded.
Right. He's like, because with Vanderbilt,
he's a bit of a loss for you because I thought he was playing at
He was playing really well. But you got AD back and Jared Vanderbilt. He's going to get some of those minutes when that Thomas Bryant was getting. So I like D'Angelo Russell. I love the Malik Beasley for Pat Beverley. I love Pat Bev. I love his tenaciousness. But I think Malik Beasley gives them a little bit more production on the offensive end.
He just does.
Puts the ball in the basket at a higher clip. You shoot the three-point, he can space the floor better. But, Skip, all that being said, I don't think all of a sudden that I'm looking at the Lakers like, they arrived now. I don't look at it like that. I think they're incrementally better. I think now they can make the play-in, maybe get to the 6th seed, but all of a sudden say they're going to contend. Anthony Davis is going to have to play out of his mind. LeBron is going to have to continue to play out of his mind. And the guys that they got, D'Lo and Malik Beasley, they're going to have to be consistent because, Skip, we've seen Schroeder play great, give you 32 one night, and then he'll give you 5 the next. We've seen guys come in and play well. We've seen Lonnie Walker give us 22, and then he'll give us 5. Austin Reeves, he's coming back, played well last night. So they just need the role players to be consistent. And I'm not worried about LeBron and AD because they'll carry their weight. But the role players are going to have to be consistent.
Okay, the whole show yesterday, you're beating your side of the table. Let's go get the bogeyman up in Detroit. Bogdanovich, right? And it trended all afternoon. I'm watching Twitter like it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to... It didn't happen. Right? What happened?
God, they be wanting too much for the bogey.
Yeah.
They make it seem like that's Jokic or Luka. No, he's not. We're not giving you a totally unprotected first-round pick for bogey.
By the way, he is averaging a career-high 21 a game for the Detroit Pistons, but he's a player.
Yes.
And he'll play both ends of the floor because back in his Indiana days, he used to take LeBron and take him for the whole game and do a credible job on him.
Yeah, he'd take him, give him like 35, 10, and 8, but he did a credible job.
No, but he would hold him to what I would call a low roll.
He held him under 40, so that was good.
He made LeBron sweat a little bit. So the point is, you didn't get the biggest fish, not that he's Jokic, but you still got a haul of nice little players, right? Real quick, I'm going to do a quick aside before I launch because I meant to do this last topic and I didn't. I thought going into today that today's crowd would be a 3-point underdog to yesterday's. I think this crowd is winning so far. So I'm not seeing a life-changing move, but you definitely got better. You got to admit, I thought you got 20% better. And that's considerable. It's a significant gain because D'Angelo Russell, I know he can be a little wacky, and he's not a leader. He's not a lead guard, but he is a natural-born scorer of the basketball who can get you 30 on any given night. So I like that playing off LeBron. He was a Laker. He started with, he's the 2nd overall pick in the draft. So I like that because he's still right. He's just entering his prime to me. And Malik Beasley, over the last 2 years, he's made the 3rd most threes in the NBA. Obviously, there's that guy named Steph up in the Bay Area and Buddy Hield that you also wanted, but those are the only two who have made more threes than Malik Beasley. What do you need? You need catch and shoot threes.
I sure hope he can continue that because normally what happens, guys shoot really, really well on another team, and as soon as they get with LeBron, all of a sudden something wrong with the wrist.
I got it. It is intimidating. It is overwhelming.
Expectations.
He is still the best passer in basketball, and nobody throws better what are called in honor of me, skip passes, right? I don't think they're named after me. But LeBron at 6'9" can just look over the whole defense and whip it two-hand, overhand pass all the way to the far corner, and you're just standing there by yourself like, I'm open, right? And all of a sudden, Malik's going to be in the corner wide open, and Russ was in the corner wide open a whole bunch of times, and the crowd started saying, no, don't shoot it. So again, these are nice additions. Jared Vanderbilt can play on the defensive end because he's a force. He's got physicality to him.
So what happened when Schroeder goes to the bench now? So you got D-Law and you got Malik Beasley in the backcourt, and then you have Schroeder coming off the bench?
Well, you have to, and yet I like Schroeder closing games because he is clutch, man. He will make big clutch free throws and big clutch plays down the stretch. The main thing that happened, and you know this and I know this, you got out from under Russ. You got out from under a Patrick Beverly. We both love him. I believe in his heart. I love how he fights and scratches and claws, but he's hard to coach. He can be a little bit of a solo act. And our man Chris Haynes also reported that Darvin Ham was instrumental in making the choices to go after these players, so that he had a huge say in what Rob Pelinka was about to pull off. And I'm sure that wherever he is right now, Darvin Ham is a greatly relieved man, because I think Russ and Pat Bev were just wearing his tail out every night, because it's hard to juggle those guys.
Yeah, Russ wants his minutes, and he wants his playing time, and if you're trying to ride the hot hand down the stretch, and Russ says, I'm Russ and I need to be in there. So yeah, I can see how it was challenging. Pat Bev had some good moments. The Boston game might have been his best moment. Unfortunately, it didn't end up in their favor. But Skip, when I'm looking at this, I mean, you say 20% better. Does that move them play in, 6th seed?
Listen, again, I honor LeBron. He's playing at the highest level we've ever seen by far at his age and stage of his career. I still have huge respect for Anthony Davis. Is he a hooper like we were talking about Chris Paul and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker? No, he doesn't have that in him. He's not as driven because, as you know, his motor runs hot and cold. But when it runs hot, he's top 10. So I say with LeBron and AD, and I love the fact that, as we talked about earlier, he was pissed off during LeBron's passing Kareem game because they're stinking it up and losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
So he felt that way, huh? Well, I can't tell you what, he's so upset. Averaged 30 and 15. 30 and 15 for the last 26 games. Then I believe it.
Okay, I got you. It's time for LeBron to heave a big old sigh and say, I did that. We're done with that. Now we got to rise, like the Suns are going to rise. And we got to, this team has 4 seed written all over it, because it's, as you keep pointing out, Jen, it's just a jumble. Everybody's kind of the same. Even Denver, I don't think anybody's scared to death of Denver. So when all is said and done, they need to go on a run and rise up to the 4 seed, and then we see what happens, because would they scare people to death?
Of course.
You better believe it. Who wants to mess with this? Because it's got superstar power, right? Okay?
So, you're scared now, huh?
I'm not scared.
And we want the Clippers the first round.
I want Suns-Lakers in the first round.
See, you want somebody. See, you always want somebody to do your dirty work. If the Clippers are what you said, now let's get the Clippers in the first round.
All I know is I'm going to be winning a whole lot of Diet Mountain Dew, the breakfast of champions.
So now you a Suns fan.
Have I always been a KD supporter?
Yeah, but you was out on KD in Brooklyn. You say you have done.
Well, I wasn't out on him until he got his toenail stuck on the line on a 3-point shot.
This man had his toenails?
Yeah, his toenails. Did you ask him about his toenail? Last night, did he clip his toenail? Did he?
Nah. But I did look down. That's a size 17.
Yeah, it's a size 17. And, well, I'm serious. He did do that. You got to give him credit. And remember, in that series against Milwaukee, we're going back now 3 years ago, right? These are the Bucks who are on their way to winning the NBA championship against the Phoenix Suns. And it goes to Game 7. And why did it get to a Game 7? Well, it wasn't because of James Harden, because he's out there limping around, dragging his hamstring. And it wasn't because of Kyrie, because he's hurt and out as usual. And all of a sudden, it's KD or bust against the Bucks, who play as good a defense as anybody in the league. Am I right? And what did Kevin Durant do in that? Remember the masterpieces? It was game after game. I don't have it in front of me, but it was like game 5. He was 45, 12, and 8.
Yeah, he had a monster.
Right?
Yeah.
Monster game. Like the one you put on your mantle, that kind of a game. And then we get to game 7, and he has another monster game until that shot. And if it's a 3 and he's got a toenail on the line, and you were right, the ref on that side immediately did not call it a 3, right? A 2.
Mm-hmm.
I fell out of my chair because I thought it was a 3. I'm rolling on the ground because I think he did it again. I thought it was the greatest clutch playoff shot I'd ever seen before because it had just eliminated the Milwaukee Bucks. No, they didn't. All of a sudden, they're alive, and we're going to overtime, and he hit the wall. Mm-hmm. He flat ran out of gas. But it took Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton made the shot of shots at the end, kind of like Kyrie did for LeBron in Game 7. And that was that. That was the end of KD as I knew and loved him as a Brooklyn Net. That's as far as they were going to get, and he did it by himself. And then last year, he just didn't even want to be there. He didn't want to play. Went through the whole vaccination controversy, and it was a mess. And I'm sure he is. When you saw him last night, was he not happy to be here?
Yeah, he looked pretty relieved to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's happy to be. I don't know if there's another destination he would want to go. I just know he looked relieved to be out of Brooklyn.
Okay, well, all the reports were that he pushed to go to the Suns, they gave him a parting gift.
They did, because I think the Suns were on his original list this summer.
They were, okay, because of CP3,
right.
Because they're very close, and he. LeBron's a great student of NBA history, but so is Kevin. He's underrated. Like, LeBron's a great workout guy, but he spends $2 million a year on his workouts. Kevin works, I'm sure I don't have, like, proof of this, but I'm pretty sure he works just as hard as LeBron, but nobody talks about it because he doesn't promote it.
Right.
Well, he really wanted to come here and help create